All right, time for another Nerdy Virgin podcast. The goal this evening is for me to not go buy and eat a box of cookies at 11 p.m. If I can do that, I'll be good. So what I was doing was I was buying and eating Lifesaver gummies and saying to myself, well, at least it's gluten-free, and patting myself on the back. I'm making steps. So I'm trying to be a bit more extreme and avoid the processed sugar. Now, does that mean I'm going to not have 2 to 10 pieces of bread at 11 p.m. at night with jelly? No. Small steps. That's what I'm doing. Small steps to get back to some semblance of a diet, because my stomach is beginning to bulge. And my metabolism seems to be slowing down at a phenomenal rate. I feel like even 2 or 3 years ago, I could be on the pig diet that I am now and kind of get away with it, and that is not happening anymore. So this Friday, I'm going to get the second MRI, and we're going to find out what's going on with this cyst in my brain. And I think, I don't know, but I think if it's not changing, my guess is they'll say, it's stable, come back in a year. That's my guess. I don't know, though. So am I allowing this fear to seep into other parts of my life as misdirected anger? You bet. Of course. So I got to watch out for that. I've got to not let things bother me. That's what has to happen. You know what I mean? So there you have it. There you have it, and there you go. And that's how we have to play this. That is how we have to play this. But at any rate, it's I'm freaking out about this test. Here's all the things I'm freaking out about. Number one, I'm freaking out that in between now and Friday, I'll get sick, like a cold or something, or COVID, and then I'll have to delay the MRI until I get better, and then I go in and I get the MRI, and they're like, if only it would have come in 3 to 5 days sooner, we would have caught it in time. These are all the fears that are running through my head. And by running through my head, I mean literally next to the cyst. Other fear is that, there's the obvious one, that it is growing, and that it is something other than a cyst, and that they're going to have to go in. That's probably the biggest fear. Of course, I'm leaving out the fears I'm not thinking of. And that always seems to be what happens in the end. It's the thing I didn't expect. So whatever that is, I'm trying to get out ahead of that and worry about what I don't know is going to happen. Which has worked for me beautifully in the past, by the way. Can I just say that all the years of my obsessive compulsive rituals, knock on wood so I don't get sick, does that mean by doing all of that, those rituals, that this could be a lot worse, but it's not because I was knocking on wood? And if I had knocked on wood a little bit more, maybe I wouldn't have a cyst at all. Or Could it be that the anxiety that spurned the OCD itself is what caused the cyst? Who can say for sure? Who can say for sure? It could be congenital. I could have had it. I could have been born with it. Out of my control. Doesn't matter what my diet is. Which you'd think would be freeing. But I have to remind myself, yes, well, the diet is for other reasons, like other organs in the body, like, the heart, or the pancreas, or the liver, or the kidneys. Those things too. They're kind of important. In fact, I'm kind of, like, in my mind, I was like, I wish, if only the cyst had been on another organ that was less important than the brain. They're all important. I mean, you could maybe make a case with the appendix, but sooner or later you need all of them. Hey, you can get away with one kidney, sure. It's all one organism. Shouldn't compartmentalize in that way. But here I am. I'm showing up. I'm doing this podcast that's being listened to by no one. Maybe one or two people on YouTube. I don't mean to be dismissive. Maybe millions of years from now, when the human race has become extinct, all they'll have left by some miracle is this podcast. And they will be judging and making assumptions about the entire species based on this podcast. And I think what they're going to say is, well, we see why they died out. It's pretty evident. We're impressed they got as far as they did based on this one podcast. I am walking right now. My attempted exercise. For a long time, I was rewarding myself by just walking to the 7-Eleven. But I think this time around, I'm just going to walk back home, eat the healthy bread. At least I know it's bad for the gluten, but at least it's healthy bread. I did have a salad tonight for the first time in a long time. We don't need to focus on the fact that it was drenched in dressing. That's probably terrible for me. We don't need to focus on that. Small steps. Maybe that should be the title of this podcast. Small steps. Right now, the walk I take, it's up a hill and then down a hill. And for the most part, the up the hill part is usually easy for me. It's a little bit more labored today. And by today, I mean, I've noticed it's been a little bit more labored for a while. Just my body, dropping hints. Hey, we're inching closer to the end. Just don't know when. Is it 40 years from now? Is it 4 days from now? Am I doing everything I want to do in my life? Ain't that the question? Ain't that the question? But I am, I guess it's putting everything in perspective, right? You know what I need to congratulate myself on? In spite of this diagnosis, still sweating the small stuff. I've managed to still be bothered by things that shouldn't bother me. Good to see I haven't learned a thing. Good to know. Good to see that. Good to see that that's happened. Enjoying the moment? No, not at all. Still obsessed over the future? Oh, 100%. 100%. All right. 2 cars were just barreling past in a neighborhood at around midnight. Perfect. Great. That's not going to lead to a major problem soon. Why are people people? Why are people people? That's what I ask myself. I'm almost to the downhill part of this. That's probably where I should have started recording this, so I would sound a little less winded for 10 minutes. But what can you do? I'll let you know how it happens, what happens with the cyst findings. I mean, they're going to do it Friday, and then I got to wait a week. And then they'll tell me what they'll tell me, I guess. Very exciting for anyone watching, I suppose. Not so thrilling to be in it. But I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm afraid to say I'm probably going to be okay. Because I feel like as soon as I say that, the universe will go, we'll make that not true. And I don't know. I don't know until I get the results. So, I'll just have to wait and see, I guess. I hate cliffhangers. I really do. But I have no choice on this one. So, we'll find out. This seems like a good stopping place. Now that I'm going downhill and I will be able to breathe easily, that's where I want to stop podcasting. That's how this works. I normally like to do 20 minutes. This is only 12, but, well, beware what I wish for. Get the results next week. That may turn into an hour of me just crying. So, I don't want to end on a down note. You know what? Maybe I do want to end on a down note. Maybe it's time that more things ended on a down note. Maybe I want this to feel like 1960s, early 1970s cinema where just at the end, the bad guys get away with it and it just ends with Jack Nicholson looking on going, they got away with it. Chinatown. That's Chinatown for you. They just got away with it. Oh well, I guess I'm gonna leave the scene of the crime now and go home and have a sandwich, I guess. I think they did make a sequel to Chinatown, right? The Two Jakes. Didn't they make a sequel to Chinatown? The Two Jakes, and I don't know what happened there, but he got past Chinatown, I suppose, and went on to meet another guy named Jake. So maybe with luck, I'll get to meet another guy named Josh, and maybe that'll be the sequel. We'll see.